This is Michael Orrell of MobileBurn.com, and today I have the Motorola QA30, the Hint. It's now available from Cricket Wireless. The QA30 is a very unique looking phone. It's almost all display when it's closed up, but the slider mechanism opens up to reveal a pretty nice QWERTY keyboard. The keys are pretty stiff, but 4 full rows, dedicated keys for the punctuation marks you'd want. Really kind of nice. D-pad on the device is a little odd though. It's very easy to move up and down, but the left and right positions are a little bit narrow. Still works pretty well, and the center select button is really easy to get to. So, small dedicated back buttons, music buttons, and the 2 soft keys. So, kind of strange. Could be a lot larger considering the physical amount of space on the device, and of course the green and red call end and send buttons. All this sits underneath a QVGA resolution display, which is pretty nice, but not awe-inspiring by any means. On the left-hand side of the device, we have a simple volume control. On the right edge of the device here, we have a dedicated button for calling up the speaker-independent voice dialing system. Down below, a nice micro USB connector for power, which is really appreciated, and a full 3.5mm headphone audio port sitting right next to the power button up top. The user interface on the Hint here is a little bit unusual for Motorola. There's transition effects and things that we don't remember seeing elsewhere. They're not consistent though, like when you go out of the main menu, there's no real transition. There's also a menu of sorts built into the home screen, which is kind of strange. Maybe with a better background it'd be easier to see, but as it stands, it's a little difficult to see which item selected currently. You can see composed text is there. I can move down on the D-pad to get to messages or email. Go back to the main menu, and again you can see nicely laid out menu, very clear, good icons, voice dialing capability, and a bunch of other organizer type functionality as well. Notice we have the dedicated button here for the music player, and that's because there's a micro SD card slot in the device. If you hit the button, it'll pull up music player, at which point you can select an artist and an album and start playing. Now if you hit the music button again, it takes you back to the main standby screen so you can continue using the device, which is pretty cool. Hit the button again, go back, and you can exit the application just by hitting the call end button. You can see that the Cricket version of the QA30 comes with Cricket's email program. Easy setup support for Yahoo Mail or Gmail, but you can also put in other POP or IMAP type accounts. We'll go into the text message editor so you can see how that works. Put in a fake number and into the text box. You can see it works pretty well. Keys are a bit stiff, as I mentioned. It's a bit flaky though when it comes to dealing with the caps lock key. Sometimes it seems to be, you hit it once and it stays on, like this. Other times when you hit, you hold it down, you get nothing. Other time you hold it down, just the first letter. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Haven't figured it out. Might have something to do with the position in the sentence, whether it's the beginning of the sentence or not, but very weird all around. Of course, you can just send the message off by hitting the soft key up here. There's a lot of things on the UI that just look like they were crammed into a horizontal QVGA resolution display. Bottoms of pop-ups seem to be cut off and missing. Just kind of strange, like it's not quite finished. We'll view this text message that came in, but you can see some of the transition effects there. Say we'll set the brightness. You can see how the bottom line here is missing. It's just kind of odd. It just doesn't look like it was meant for this type of display. But in general it works. As a 3G device on Cricket's CDMA network, the QA30 does pretty well when it comes to web browsing speeds. The browser is not really complex though in terms of the kind of things it can handle, but it seems to work reasonably well. We'll go to the Mobile Burn homepage. The browser is built by OpenWave, and let's see how that works. See, it comes up nice and snappy. We'll show you what happens though if we try to go to the full website. The full page is loaded now, and you can see that things are really messed up. But for mobile formatted sites, like the original Mobile Burn page we were on initially, it's really not a problem. Once the camera application, just so you can see how it works, it's a 2 megapixel camera in the device. You can see it's very easy to get your fingers in the way because of the position of the lens, and this being such a short device, so you really have to be careful. But once you take the photo, not much of a problem. Just press the button, takes the photo. You can go and view the pictures, and there's a kind of cool slideshow system on the device. We'll start that up with nice transitions. You can set the time per picture to 1, 3 or longer in terms of seconds. So that's our quick look at the Motorola QA30 Hint, a 3G QWERTY messaging device for Cricket. It's on sale right now for $249.99, which is pretty steep, although there is a $20 web discount on Cricket's website. Has a 2 megapixel camera, as I mentioned, 3G data, and a easily accessible MP3 player. Micro SD card slot in the back underneath the cover, and all around pretty nice package, if a bit unconventional. So again, that's the Motorola QA30 Hint for Cricket. I'm Michael Orrell for MobileBurn.com.